Yo, what's up, Scorpio? Welcome to your monthly forecast for the month of May 2016. For the majority of the month of May, the sun is going to be in the sign of Taurus. For you as a Scorpio, Taurus is your seventh house. The seventh house has to do primarily with all the most important one-on-one relationships in your life. So, especially if you have a particular special relationship like your significant other, there's going to be much more of a focus surrounding this for the majority of the month of May. On May 20th, the sun will shift into Gemini, and Gemini is your eighth house. The eighth house has to do primarily with your shared finances. It has to do with your shared resources. It has to do with business contracts. It has to do with business deals and negotiations. And it also has to do with your sex life. So the eighth house encompasses a lot of different stuff, and you're going to see a shift there, whereas the majority of the month of May, it's mostly about your significant one-on-one relationships, and then after the 20th, it's going to shift into the things that I just mentioned, the shared finances, shared resources, your sex life, business contracts. So those are the primary themes for the month of May 2016 for you, Scorpio. Now I'm going to talk about some more specific major astrological events that are set to occur for the month of May 2016 and what they mean for you. Right off the bat, on May 1st, the sun in Taurus, your seventh house of one-on-one relationships, is making a positive angle to Neptune in Pisces, and Pisces is your fifth house. And the fifth house has to do with your romantic situation. So May 1st is a really great day for your romantic relationship. So whether this is a new relationship or maybe it's even just someone that you're interested in, maybe you're not even in a relationship with. I mean, this could even suggest that if you're a single Scorpio, this may be a day where you actually enter a romantic relationship with somebody. And it's just a really great aspect for your love life. So, like whether you're single and you're interested in somebody, or if you're in a relationship and you've been in a relationship for a while, like it's a long-term thing, this is just a really great day for your relationship and your love life. So take note of that on May 1st. And on May 6th, there's a new moon in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus, once again, is that seventh house of one-on-one relationships for you, Scorpio. And this basically means that there's going to be all these new things coming down the pike regarding the most important one-on-one relationships in your life after May 6th. That's how new moons work. I say it every time. They're like a trigger. And after the new moon hits, they just set off all these new events. And for the 6 months to follow the new moon, all these new things are going to be building regarding your one-on-one relationships in your life. And this can mean different things. If you're a single Scorpio, then there could be someone new who comes into your life that you enter a one-on-one relationship with. If you're in a relationship already as a Scorpio, then maybe you're going to think about getting engaged. If you're engaged, then maybe you're going to think about getting married. If you're already married, then this just means new things for your marriage coming down the pike, Scorpio. So there's different ways that you can look at this aspect. And on May 9th, Jupiter, the planet of luck and fortune, actually starts to push forward. It goes direct in Virgo, and Virgo is your 11th house, and that has to do primarily with your friendships, and it has to do with your social situation. And Jupiter has actually been doing what's called a retrograde. Everybody knows a retrograde is the planet's going backwards. It's not literally going backwards, but it actually looks like it is. But what does it mean astrologically? Well, Jupiter's been doing a retrograde since January 7th. And this is quite a while where this has been a time, so I guess since January 7th up until May 9th, you've probably ran across a lot of friends from your past, I would imagine. Jupiter's going backwards, so in that area of friendships, I could imagine since January 7th all the way up until May 9th, you probably had some friends from high school that came up. You probably saw some friends from college. You might even have seen some friends from childhood. I mean, depending on where you are in your life. But after May 9th, Jupiter will begin to push forward. So the overall focus with that is that, friendships are now going to become, more future oriented and looking forward. And this could be really great for your social situation after May 9th. So after May 9th, you could start going out a lot and having a lot of fun and being in a lot of different social activities. So I think you're really going to enjoy that, Scorpio. On May 12th, Mercury, the planet of communication, is in the sign of Taurus. Once again, Taurus being your 7th house of one-on-one relationships, and is making a positive angle to Pluto, which is in Capricorn. And Capricorn is your 3rd house, and that has to do primarily with the communications in your life. It has to do with writing, speaking, texting, emails, just getting your message across, exchange of information. So on May 12th, this being a positive link between the areas of your life that have to do with your one-on-one relationship and your communication, it sounds like if you have anything important to communicate to someone who you have a one-on-one relationship with in your life, May 12th sounds like a great day to do it, because this aspect is very positive. So if there's something important that you need to get across to your significant other, or maybe it's even someone that you're not, like if you're a single Scorpio, maybe this could be a day where you want to tell your love interest that you're into them. So there's different ways to look at this angle. And on May 21st, there's a full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. And once again, Sagittarius is your 2nd house. And your 2nd house has to do with your money situation. So with a full moon there, it's like a wild card. And like really anything can happen with these full moons. It's like sometimes, like I've seen full moons in the 2nd house where people have full moons in their 2nd house and they get money. It's like a payout, like money comes into their life, like some kind of, maybe you get a raise, maybe you get a promotion and there's some money that comes along with it. So that's a positive outcome for a full moon in your 2nd house. But I've also seen people actually undergo an expense too, so it could go either or. It depends on your unique situation, Scorpio, and I hope for your sake, Scorpio, that it's a payout of some sort. I mean, that'd be really nice to have some extra money coming in there following May 21st. On May 22nd, Mercury, the planet of communication, is now going direct in Taurus. And Taurus, once again, being that 7th house of one-on-one relationships. So this is a very active area, the 7th house of one-on-one relationships for you this month, Scorpio. And Mercury has been in this area retrograding since April 28th. And it retrogrades from April 28th all the way to May 22nd. So when Mercury goes retrograde, like I said, when the planet's going backwards, or what looks like it's going backwards, when it does a retrograde, what does it mean astrologically? It means like hang-ups in your communication. It means delays. It means maybe you're having a hard time getting your message across. So from April 28th all the way up until May 22nd, Mercury doing a retrograde, maybe there's been something that you've been trying to get your message across to your, somebody in your one-on-one relationships in your life, and maybe it just hasn't been going that well. Maybe you just haven't really been able to communicate to them the way that you want to. So I'd say after May 22nd, when Mercury starts to straighten out and when it goes direct again, that's when finally, whatever you're having a problem communicating in your one-on-one relationships, that's finally going to come unstuck. And I feel that after May 22nd, whatever you're trying to communicate in your one-on-one relationships is going to be, you'll be able to do it eloquently. On May 26th, Jupiter, the planet of luck and fortune, once again in Virgo, that 11th house area, the 11th house having to do with your friendships and with your social situation, is actually making a challenging aspect to Saturn, which is in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius once again being that 2nd house that has to do with your money situation. So what does this suggest, Scorpio? I mean, it just sounds like you're just spending too much money hanging out with your friends and having a good time. So, there's nothing wrong with going out and drinking and having a good time. You spend some money doing that. Everything in life in moderation, Scorpio. I'm not trying to tell you what to do or anything, but it's your life. You do whatever you want. But that's just my advice to you. Maybe you just want to cut the spending a little bit back on like going out and partying with your friends. This might raise a question in your mind about that on May 26th. On May 27th, Mars is actually going Mars has been going retrograde actually since April 17th, but now on May 27th, it's actually going to retrograde a lot more than it's been. It's going to retrograde so much that it's going back into the sign of Scorpio. It's going back into your sign. So it's going back into the 1st house of self. It started its retrograde in Sagittarius, which is your 2nd house of money. So it's been traveling for quite a while, going backwards in that area. And then once it reaches, it's going to reach Scorpio on May 27th. And it's interesting because it's like it has a purpose for doing that. It has a purpose for going all the way back into your sign, into the first house of self, Scorpio. That's your sign. And it sounds like, I mean, Mars was in this area in the beginning of the year. It was there for like the first 2.5 months. It was there for January, February, and even like almost half of March, or almost even 3/4 of March. But it was there, and it was developing something about you in your first house of self, Scorpio. And then it moved on to Sagittarius. And, you know, whatever was building about yourself, Scorpio, I don't know if it ever really developed fully or ever got finished. Whatever it was about yourself, it has something to do with yourself, or maybe even like a new beginning about yourself. But it was never really able to take off. So now Mars is going back in this area. It wants to go back out of your second house and come back into your first house. And that's what it's doing on May 27th. And it's doing it with a purpose. There's something that it needs to finish there regarding yourself. It needs, something was like, just like you moved forward and never finished like developing something about yourself. So now Mars is going back to finish the job. It's going to finish developing whatever needs to be developed about yourself that's important. So it's going to go in there. Mars is a fast-moving planet, so it's going to go in there and it's going to get it done, whatever it needs to be done, and that'll be nice because, you know, that way there's something about yourself that you're building and it won't go unfinished. So that'll come to a completion for you, Scorpio. And I think that's all I have for you this month, Scorpio. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and like, and make sure to share, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.